Chef Buck here, and today we're cooking up Huevos Rancheros. The first thing we're going to do is cook up the beans, so I'm going to turn on a pot to get that heated up. Well, the beans aren't going to go in the pot right away because we're going to saute up a few flavorful ingredients, but I'm going to put a little oil in here, get that melted up. So I'm using green onions for my Huevos Rancheros, and I like to use green onions. You can use regular onions if you like, but I like to separate the bottoms from the tops, and then I can cook with the bottom of the green onions, and then I can use the tops later as a garnish. But I'm going to use this in my ranchero sauce as well. And I had some bell pepper in the fridge. I'm throwing about a half a bell pepper in there. A little bit of garlic. You know, if you wanted to, you can throw any kind of pepper in there you want. You can put in some jarred jalapenos. I got a fresh jalapeno. I'm going to throw a little bit of that in there. And we'll just saute these onions and peppers up here for a few moments. And taking the time to get these flavors together for your beans is going to make all the difference. You know, they'll know you care. Got a little bit of salt and pepper I'm going to throw in here. I got a little chipotle, a little smoked jalapeno I'm going to throw in there too. I love that flavor. So that's optional. Now I'm putting 2 cans of black beans in here. I like to use a ratio of 2 to 1 for my black beans and refried beans. 1 can of refried beans. Get a close shot of this because it looks so delicioso. And this is vegetarian beans. You know, if you want to make a vegetarian dish, make sure and get vegetarian because a lot of refried beans are cooked with meat products. So get it mixed in there. I'm going to turn my heat back up. I'm going to add a little bit of water in here. Now, even though this is going to be a vegetarian dish, I sort of like it to have a meaty flavor. So one of my secret ingredients is some Worcestershire sauce. People associate that flavor with meaty dishes, so having that in your beans will give it that little extra oomph. And another secret ingredient that I like to use
is love.
And also maple syrup.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I like to put a little maple syrup in there, but I'm not going to do it today. Kind of a cheat. What the heck? Just to be sweet to camera girl, I'm going to put a little maple syrup in there. But that's completely optional. So now we'll just let our beans cook up for a little while and get those flavors together. And I'll set that on the back burner. Let that keep going. And while that's working, boom, we'll start our ranchero sauce. And a lot of times, you know, for a ranchero sauce, you can just use a salsa. Just use a regular old salsa. You know, put a little bit in there, water it down, make it a little bit thin. You know, and you can use that. If you make your own ranchero sauce, a lot of times I just use canned tomato. I happen to have some fresh Roma tomato today, so I'm going to make it with fresh tomato. I've already got these skinned, so I'll throw this in here, let that start cooking down. I got a little bit of jalapeno left over. I'm going to throw that in there too.
Spicy butt.
A little bit of the onion left over. A lot of it. What the heck? And I've even got some of the garlic left over, so I'm going to throw that in there as well. And I got so many of my green onion tops. Why not? Salt and pepper. I usually put green chilies in the ranchero sauce, but I forgot. Alrighty, get all these stirred together. And I'm going to let this cook up and cook these tomatoes down with these ingredients. Now I could add some water in here if I wanted to, and that's fine. Just throw in a little bit of water if you like. You know, sometimes we'll put a can of chicken broth in there. You know, if we're not doing a vegetarian dish, or you could do a can of vegetable broth. We've got some frozen broth here. Little vegetable broth. So I'm just going to throw some of these cubes in here. Add a little bit of water. Get all this melted up. Alrighty, so I got my ranchero sauce up to a bubble. I'm going to reduce it down to a simmer and let that cook away and cook down a little bit. My beans are in the back simmering, and I'm going to let those continue doing what they're doing. And while that's going on, I'm going to turn this burner on over here, and we're going to cook up some tortillas. Boom, 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 which you don't have to do. You can just buy those flat tortillas at the grocery store. And corn tortillas, you know, it's just a little bit of corn flour mixed in with water and then fried in a skillet. So it's very easy to do, you know, if you don't care how they look. Now, if you want them to look perfectly round and beautiful, then that's more problematic because you're going to have to get wax paper, you're going to have some kind of press, or you're just going to have to be uber skilled, which I'm not. But I'm going to make some tortillas, and they're going to be very tasty and functional You're just not going to win a beauty contest. Get you a certain amount of corn flour, and then you want to use a little bit less water. Like this is half a cup of corn flour, and to that I'm going to add about 1/3 of warm water. So a little bit less water than corn flour. Alrighty, and then you just want to mix up your flour and water. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of salt and pepper in here too, but you don't have to do that because we're going to have a lot of different flavors on here. And it's still pretty dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more water. And you can just fool with it until you get the right consistency. Add a little bit more water if you need to, add a little bit more flour if you need to. Whatever you need to do to get it to a consistency that's easy to handle and easy to spread out into a semi-tortilla shape. So just pinch off a little bit there and smash it between your palms, between your fingers, between your flippers, and get it into a semi-roundish shape. It wants to stick to my hand. Put some flour on your hand. You could just peel it carefully away from your hand, and just to get it into a kind of a flat shape. If this could win a tortilla beauty contest, it would still taste the same as an ugly tortilla. So now I got my skillet heated up. I don't have any oil or anything on here at all, and I'm just going to throw it on there. Boom, 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 and while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and flatten me out another one. And these aren't going to be as thin as tortillas that I would buy in a store, or that you would make if you were going to press them out in a little press. But they're gonna be perfectly serviceable, and they're just super easy to make. I'll just say I had this in here for less than a minute, and I'm going to flip it over because it only takes about a minute for these things to cook, about 1.5 minutes. Huevos Rancheros, there's a lot going on at once. I'm going to end up with 4 little tortillas. That's going to be all that we need. So this one I flipped 3 times. This is the 3rd time flipping this one over. Boom. I'm going to pull this first one out, put it in a little container. My last one's on here. Ugly tortillas belong under a pile of beautiful beans. Alrighty, so all my tortillas are finished. Throw them in here, put a lid on there, and they'll be nice and soft and ready to go for my Huevos Rancheros. We're going to serve our Huevos Rancheros with some sour cream, and you can serve it with some guacamole too, but I like to serve it with just some sliced avocado. Guacamole has a lot of flavor, but I don't need to go through that effort because my beans and my ranchero sauce is already going to have so much flavor. This way the avocado will almost act as a cooling agent if you've made your beans spicy like we like them, you know, because I put a little bit of jalapeno in there.
It's different texture too.
That's a good point. It is a nice texture to add to the dish. I like to serve Huevos Rancheros with some sliced oranges or grapefruit. Alrighty, so our beans are still simmering away. Our ranchero sauce has been simmering away. You know, it's nice and chunky, but I want my ranchero sauce to be a little bit thinner. So we'll go ahead and take our hand blender, give it a quick little pulse. It'll be a nice little sauce to go over our Huevos Rancheros. I kind of like this consistency right here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off of the ranchero sauce and the beans. Crack some eggs and get those cooking. See, I already busted my yolk, but that's okay. We're going to live with it. Look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah, I busted it real good, but that's all right. Here I got my tortillas. Boom. I got my beans. Nice and wet and flavorful, but not so wet that they're watery. I'm going to throw my eggs on there. Boom, boom, boom. My avocado. Let me put my orange slices. We're going to throw this ranchero sauce on here. It's going to be a super duper nice flavor. Got my green onion tops, going to make it beautimous. And here's the last ingredient that I feel I have to have on Huevos Rancheros.
Yes!
Is some cilantro.
Oh, I didn't see it.
And lots of it. So just give your cilantro a rough chop.
Unless you're one of the people that genetically it tastes like soap.
Yeah, and then you can just get out of my kitchen. What's up? There you have it.
Wow.
Huevos Rancheros a la Chef Buck. Thanks for leaving the comments and checking the vid out. And subscribe if you haven't done that. We'll have some more videos for you one of these days. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Let's eat, camera girl.
Yeah, don't tell me twice. Can I eat now?